Hello, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to Northtown News Magazine.
I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
For the identity of the real Marty Levinson, stay tuned to the Northtown News Magazine.
Good. Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet Hope, Chicago. 2 is 4, 4 4 6. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you?
Hi there, I'm the real Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host, Avi Myers.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Myers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. Dial us up on the web at www.ntnm.org. Check us out on YouTube, where about 250,000 of you have been foolish enough to watch shows. And thank you so much. We do appreciate it. It's an ever-growing number. And Facebook, please fix the clicker. We're real big on community policing. Jewish Chicago is coming out near the end of February for your early voting pleasure. So take a look for it. As always, we'll have the largest judicial coverage of any paper around, be it a weekly, monthly, daily, and that's why we've got so many different judges on the show. But this time we're going to treat ourselves to a brand new guest, a state official, the state treasurer of the state of Illinois. He's still in his, I guess it's a little more than a year now at this point.
It's just tad over a year.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to introduce you to Dan Rutheford. How are you doing?
Great. It's nice to be with you. Thank you very much.
First of all, my pleasure. Thank you. And I want to thank Matt Butterfield very much, who we went through hell and high water, so to speak, but we finally found a mutual day. And I want to thank Josh Lanning for bringing you here also.
Well, you know, I've got a great team, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. It's good to be back.
No, and by the way, I want to tell you, the first time I actually met you was at Tom Serafin's party the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Right.
And he knew every single detail about, like, you know, when we tried to get him on the show and what was going on and the efforts that were involved, and it was really cool. And what actually happened is that I got a thing from Shalom Klein saying that we were actually filming during Hanukkah right now, right before Christmas. And so I wish everybody a Merry Kwanzaa and smoke them latkes if you got them. I try to be all inclusive. But I saw that Shalom Klein was having you at his Jewish networking event, and you're one of the sponsors of it.
Yes, I'm going to be the speaker there.
So I figured if that's 6 o'clock, you know, I'm in a Jewish neighborhood. It can't be that far. So, you know, I wrote Matt right away, and it worked out. And Josh got you here a little early, and we'll get you over to Grossinger's later on time.
I appreciate it. It's good to be with you.
So first of all, thank you, and tell us how you finding being state treasurer.
You know, it will be just about a year by the time we see this show. It's going well, and I got to be candid with you.
Yeah.
You know, it's got its tough days. Yeah. It's got its great days. How'd you like to wake up every morning and think that you're the treasurer of the most bankrupt state in America? I mean, it's got its good days and it's got its bad days. Candidly, though, and some people may not really understand what I do as the treasurer, but I'm responsible for the investment of the state's portfolio. And I know, the state's broke and those kind of things, but the reality to it is we have about $10 billion in state monies that I manage before they are dispersed and for investment purposes. I also have about a $5 to $6 billion portfolio for our local funds. So local communities, park districts, cities, we invest for them. And this first year in office, it has been stressful because we had remember the debt ceiling debate that took place in Washington, D.C.? We've had the issues that are taking place in the Eurozone right now. We've had the downgrade by Standard & Poor's, the U.S. Bond rating. All of that has effect on me and my job to invest the state's monies. Now, that said, it has its great days too, and I've got other programs I'd be glad to talk to you about later on.
No, absolutely. Oh, by the way, speaking of one of the programs, for full disclosure, and by the way, I did read the Forbes article saying that they actually had us 49th, which is debatable. They had California just underneath.
Well, well, probably Greece and Iraq, just shortly close to that too, unfortunately.
By the way, it was interesting to me because, yeah, our bond rating is definitely 49th. I think
it is.
We're an A+ and others are A-.
Well, here, let me give you.
Yeah,
here's what what happened. This is the honest truth. So in May, I issued a white paper, which is if you go to my treasurer's website, treasure.il.gov. If you go there, the white paper about no more debt. Don't loan my state any more money. We're addicted to debt. So in that, I said, and that Illinois is 49th, and Standard, Fitch, and Moody's. The next morning, as the treasurer of the state of Illinois, I got an email from the financial analysts from Moody's in New York. Now, first of all, when I see that, I think, oh my gosh, what did I screw up? I'm going to get in trouble. I did something wrong. And it said, Mr. Treasurer, you are correct. On the average between Moody's, Fitch, and Standard, those are the three rating companies, you are 49th compared to California. But according to Moody's, you are worse than California. So, we are number 50 according to Moody's.
Well, the percentage of the pension debt is just so amazing.
Well, it is. The state public pension debt is really where the big problem lies. I mean, this administration raised the income taxes in this state, the largest increase in the history of our state.
67% from 3% to 5%. That's if you were paying $1, you're paying $1.67.
And in the corporate side, it went 4.8% to 7%. Exactly. So the corporate and personal both went up. And here's the thing: I negotiate contracts around the world. I'm a state treasurer. I just retired 25 years as a vice president of the Service Master Company.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's the largest service company in America, and I negotiated contracts around the globe, and I can negotiate with some of the best negotiators on the planet. And I know when you negotiate a contract, you don't just do one piece of it, you negotiate the whole of a contract. So when the General Assembly and the governor raised the income taxes by the percentages we just noted, they didn't do anything else with the contract. They just did one piece. Never addressed the state public pension systems, never addressed the issue of further debt and borrowing, never addressed the idea of the spending in the budget, just raised the taxes. Now we're in the pickle that we're in today because my friends that I work with in the Jewish United Fund and in the Lutheran charities and Catholic charities and all of the wonderful service groups out there, you ask them if the state is more current today than what they were a year ago on the bills that the state owes them. No. The answer is absolutely not, and this is after raising the income taxes. So what I decided as the state treasurer of Illinois, I'm coming out, no more debt. Do not lend my state more money. It's addicted to debt. Now, I know some of my friends in Springfield don't like me being blunt about it.
By the way, I actually feel like, I wish I was musical, I'd do the Robert Palmer thing. Gotta have to face it, you're addicted to debt.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, well, I just did.
Oh, okay.
I'm not holding out my guitar. I'm not a singer.
Stay on this show. Don't go out and do that for entertainment value.
But no, by the way, in speaking of your programs too, as long as we're talking about the debt, I'm glad you're bringing this up. People don't realize also that this bill that's currently on the books, where property tax itself is going to probably go up approximately 50% unless something's done, and that's also for the debt, and that'll be in the year. And by the way, the way the property tax thing is done in Cook County, and you're a state official, it's done so confusing that even people who are working for the assessor aren't 100% sure sometimes how it works.
Yeah.
Because you pass a law and you get a bill, and the bill is for a certain tax from a certain year, which isn't the present year, and then the assessment comes from a different place, and the appeal has to be from a different place, and the president says, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But, so anyway, people, if you didn't like your property tax hike this time with your property going down, we're going to get a 50% hike, in 2015, unless the legislature does something about it.
Well, and that's nothing that the state treasurer does. I mean,
That's correct.
I get enough burden and problems as is. That one's not mine.
By the way, in full disclosure, I actually have to thank you because I was a beneficiary of your finding stuff for people.
The unclaimed properties.
So anyway, it turned out that they had 6 shares of a stock.
Right.
That, you guys I didn't even know about it. You guys wrote me about it. You mailed it to me.
Sure.
And by the way, one thing I'll tell you, I do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I think the postage stamp was worth more than the stock. But that's
you know
not
what,
your
though?
Fault.
That was your property. So,
by the way, at one time, that was $91 a share.
Well, let me explain what it is for our viewers, if I may.
Sure.
As the state treasurer, I am the holder of what is considered unclaimed property. And I kind of refer to you as an example. If an individual had some stock certificates that they didn't remember, maybe they were a gift from someone, or if they had a safety deposit box, the grandma opened up, put in some gold coins, the jewelry, and grandma passes away, moves away. After 5 years, the management operation for the stocks or the bank, if after 5 years has tried to reach that individual to get their money back or the property of the lockbox, if they can't find them, it comes to me as the state treasurer. It is never the property of the state. I'm just the custodian. And we put it, in fact, go to treasure.il.gov and go to cash dash, and you can enter your name or a family member's name to see if you have property coming. We've gone to different communities. We run ads and those kind of things. So in your case, there was something that somewhere you didn't know about or forgot about, and after 5 years, it was responsibility of that enterprise to give it to me, and then we were able to find you.
Yeah, by the way, and I do appreciate, although it was more than 5 years that it was at 91, so.
Well, I don't.
No, you know, that's the part. But you know, I appreciate it. I think it was a very nice gesture.
Well, we tried.
I mean, I still have actually like 100. That was apparently a dividend. They paid a dividend of stock.
Okay.
Because the stock was so worthless. But and actually, what happened in my case is the guy who was my broker, he left the brokerage firm and he wasn't. I was getting like, he was very nice to me. I didn't get charged regular rates or whatever. And he actually, when he left, he sent me his certificates. So, which is unusual because I guess the broker.
Oh, so he sent you the base of the stock certificates, but there was dividends that were given in stocks.
Right.
Either later or, okay. Well,
yeah.
And then what happened was, that's how eventually it wound up with me, the state treasurer. So I encourage your viewers, please, treasure.il.gov. Go to Cash Dash. There's 10 million entries of people's names.
Wow.
Now, maybe one person's in there multiple times, a stock certificate, a savings account, a lockbox. But here's the other part. I am holding today $1.5 billion, that's with a B, $1.5 billion worth of other people's property that I'm working to put back. Now, I think we've done a good job, you know, Dan Rutheford, the state treasurer, in getting it back in people's hands. In fact, we are up 20% this year compared to the same time frame last year about putting the money back in the people's hands. And now's the time. You know, the economy's tough. You can always use it. You know, you can use a couple extra stock certificates.
No, absolutely. And by the way, if you've got anything extra nobody claims you want to send over to me, he's not going to do that.
No, I'm not. What do you need, a haircut? I'll have to call Marty Levinson.
Very good.
I'll give you a gift certificate for his barbershop.
Cool. Listen, you're
you know
a great
what? Why don't
guest.
you get over there early, huh?
I probably should. It's time to get over there. Marty's a great guy. And hi, Marty. How you doing?
Hey, Marty.
Okay, so anyway, we're at the 2-minute warning.
Okay.
So what would you like to talk about?
Well, let me one other thing. Talking about the investment portfolio, I am very careful. The primary responsibility I have as the treasurer of Illinois is do not lose the money.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that seems pretty basic, but as you look what's going on around the world, the globe, you know, and the portfolios and the like, my number one priority is do not lose the money. Number two, have it liquid so that when the time comes to pay the bond for the road building and stuff, so have it liquid. And three is if we can get interest, return. Now, that's a different strategy than perhaps others, say they're managing a 401k for you or something like that. So those are the three priorities I have. What I did was, I don't deviate because of politics and stuff like that. It doesn't do me any good. I mean, I want to make sure I meet my three priorities. One of the things I did do is ask my analysts to look at sovereign debt. So they looked at the sovereign debt bonds of Israel, Canada, Finland, some of the others, and I'm really pleased to tell you this. When the analysis was done for the financial security and return, I issued the order to purchase $10 million worth of Israeli bonds.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Now, and the reason I want to tell you this on this show is carefully. It isn't because, you know, I'm a friend of Israel. I care about Israel. I mean, I am. But you have to make these decisions as a treasurer for the right financial reasons. And that's why I had my analysts do it. They did it. They compared, and they came back, and they said, we agree. This is good. I said, buy $10 million.
Very cool. No, I did. Listen, I know from all the years of the Jewish papers that actually it's a pretty good investment. And by the way, what people don't realize either is that they don't cash in their Israel bonds. It's Chase Manhattan Bank that gets the interest. So, you know, like, you got to reinvest them in order for that to work. But that's another story. But in any event, why don't you why don't you tell people where they can contact
Sure.
you in the office?
Yeah,
and all the rest?
and I'm the state treasurer. I've got an office at the state capitol in Springfield, in Chicago at the Thompson Center. Our website is treasure.il.gov. And again, there's a couple of great things on there to look at. One is a cash ask. Go do that one. I mean, look at the debt reports and everything else, but go do that one because it really works. This guy, he even got something.
6 shares of stock, full disclosure.
And I didn't get a commission. You buying lunch?
Absolutely.
That's a deal.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Anyway, I want to thank you very much, Dan Rutheford. You've been a great guest.
Thanks a lot.
And but you did a great Marty Levinson, and I look forward to having you again on in the future.
I would look forward to doing that. We shall. Thank you.
Thank you.